think I said before, it's not about magic, it's about giving players belief, and that belief, and again, Sahal, he's very quiet, so can someone ask him a question at some point just to get his nerves out of the way, but Sahal started the game against ATK because what Sahal had done in pre-season was spot on. This is a player who didn't feature as much as, well, he's already featured more, I think, in this season than he did last season in a lot of ways. You know, he made his first start against ATK. So if you give players belief and they can fulfil their potential, then that helps you as a manager, helps you as a team. As I say, there's no magic involved in this. Sahal's got a lot of ability. There's a lot more to come from him. I know this is a young player, so therefore he's got time on his side. The squad that we've got is very young. Now that wasn't music. Okay. Yeah, we've got a young squad, so time is something that a lot of the players can afford. However, they have to use that time the right way, and they have to maximise their opportunities. And as I say, Sahal sat next to me because he's done that so far. If the rest of the squad can follow what Sahal has done in the last 5-6 weeks, then we'll be in a very good position as a football club.
Myself, Leo. Good evening. Always fitness will be will be of highest priority in considering the length of the season, length of the league, and this time there's an interval in between. Do you think it will be a challenge or it's an opportunity?
Well, I think first and foremost, we've got the break coming up after the Mumbai game, and then the lengthy break over December, January. I think we have to congratulate the state of Indian football that we're giving time for the international team to progress. In year one, it was the opposite way around. I think Steve Constantine was trying to get time for his players to get together, and for one reason or another, that wasn't afforded. Granted, the season was only 3 or 4 months long that time. But I think again, it's a statement to the improvement of the Indian national team. I've got a lot of, and again, Sahal sat here and hasn't said a word yet, but he's one of the young players who would have or should have aspirations to play for his national team. He should be looking at this game against China. He should be looking at the games in December, January, and saying that's where I want to be involved in. If you can do it now, then that'd be amazing and fantastic, but it's got to be part of his progression. And the more the Indian national team improves, the more Indian players that come from Kerala Blasters, then the more we're doing better. So I'm a very happy coach. So happy for the break. We just have to deal with everybody else with regards to how we look after our players in the break time, and just hope that we don't get any coming back from international duty worse than we send them. So it's a good thing.
Yeah. Phones again, please, Simon. Stand. We should also find out if Salah can speak as well as
You've given a lot of young players their big breaks, so that gives them a lot of confidence also. So how much has Sahal improved as a player from last season? Because he did very well in second division I League last season. How much has he improved as a player this season? What sort of big changes do you see in him?
Well, I think, and again, it was important when I came to Kerala back in January. There was a longer term plan and conversations about Sahal and other younger players were had with regards to how we were going to look after them and get them in a position that they would be first team players for us. So Sahal's been through experiences, the likes of Loken and Prashant have been through experiences to try and improve them outside of just training with Kerala Blasters. So I mean, the improvement side, he was on that starting selection for the ATK game. He earned that position. It's a position then he has to keep. And not starting, I mean, it sounds slightly contradictory in one sense, but it's the way that we do things. That not starting doesn't mean that you're not going to have an influence on the game. CK came on at 0-0 in the last game. Someone did ask me whether he changed the game. He had influence on the game for sure. Courage came on and had influence on the game, and a positive influence. So it's nice to start games, yes. You give players an opportunity to stay on for 90 minutes, but match winners don't have to play 90 minutes. And arguably match winners don't even have to score goals. So as long as the players who get on the pitch have a positive influence. You know, Sahal's done that in his first game. He might get an opportunity to do it tomorrow. We'll see when I name the team.
Hi, James.
Hi.
In Sandesh and Anas, you have probably the best centre-back pairing in the country. Now that you are missing Anas and Lakic had to step in, how pleased were you with this performance, the fact that you kept a clean sheet?
I'm not sure Lackey just stepped in because Anas wasn't here. I think Lackey, like Sahal, earned his position, and Lackey's been at the club for last season. Another player who has improved a lot since the end of last season. It's stuff I can't go into detail right now, but you know we had to look at a lot of different things in order to get improvement from players, and Lackey is one of those who deserved the right to start. When we got Anas, or we signed Anas, we knew that there was going to be a suspension. So again, it wasn't a case of someone just stepping in. We started the season with players who were ready to go. And Anas, when he is available for selection, will have to prove himself worthy of selection. And as I say, as a manager, as head coach, the best thing you can have is everybody playing very, very well, and then having to cause, I say, upset for someone who might deserve a better chance. But Lackey did very well. The whole team did very well. I can't think of bad performances. As I say, at the time there was a lot of frustration with me in the first half, but watching the game back on video, it was probably slightly misplaced. Maybe the bench position at the ATK is not the best, but happy.
Sahal, please.
Sahal,
not letting go.
Sahal, pre-season വളരെ നന്നായി കളിച്ചിരുന്നു, കുറച്ച് ഗോളൊക്കെ അടിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഹാഫ് ടൈമിൽ സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യാന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഒരു പ്ലെയറെ സംബന്ധിച്ചപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഭയങ്കര ഡിമോറലൈസിങ് ആയിരിക്കും സാധാരണഗതിയിൽ. സഹലിന് അതെങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു? ഒരു ഡെബ്യൂ കിട്ടി സ്റ്റാർട്ടിങ്, പക്ഷേ അതിനുശേഷം സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യുക ഹാഫ് ടൈമിൽ അത് ഗോൾലെസ് ആയിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ എന്തോ ഒരു മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് ചെയ്ത ഒരു പ്രതീതി അങ്ങനെ തോന്നിയോ? അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു റിയാക്ഷൻ കോച്ചിൻ്റെ?
ഒരു മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് അല്ല, ഏതൊരു പ്ലെയറിൻ്റെയും ആഗ്രഹമാണ് ഒരു 90 മിനിറ്റ്സ് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് കളിക്കാനുള്ളത്. പക്ഷെ അത് കോച്ചിൻ്റെ തീരുമാനമാണ്. കോച്ചിനനുസരിച്ച് നമ്മൾ കളിക്കണം. ടാക്ടിക്സ് ആയിരിക്കാം. അത്ര.
I think I understood some of that.
I think you said something against the coach.
Huh? No, he did.
സഹലിനോടാണ് ചോദ്യം. കഴിഞ്ഞ അത്ലറ്റിക്കോക്കെതിരായ മത്സരത്തിൽ സഹലും മിഡിൽ കൂടെ ദങ്കലും നർസാരിയും 2 യുവതാരങ്ങളാണ്. അപ്പോൾ മുമ്പിൽ ഫ്ലാവിസയും പ്രത്യേകിച്ചും ഇവർക്ക് പിന്നിലായിട്ട് നിങ്ങളുടെ 3 യുവതാരങ്ങൾ, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് നർസാരി, ദങ്കൽ, സഹൽ, ആ കോമ്പിനേഷൻ എത്രത്തോളം പ്രതീക്ഷിച്ചിരുന്നു? ആദ്യ ലെവലിൽ തന്നെ സാധ്യത പ്രതീക്ഷിച്ചിരുന്നതാണോ? ഇവരുമായിട്ടുള്ളൊരു മിഡിൽ എങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു?
പ്രതീക്ഷ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഫസ്റ്റ് ലെവലിൽ കളിക്കാനുള്ള പ്രതീക്ഷ അല്ല. ഞാൻ കോൺഫിഡൻ്റ് ആയിരുന്നു എനിക്ക് കളിക്കാൻ പറ്റും എന്നുള്ളത്. പിന്നെ ലെൻബായും പിന്നെ ഹോളിബായും അവർ രണ്ടാളും കഴിഞ്ഞ സീസൺ നോർത്ത് ഈസ്റ്റിൽ അടിപൊളിയായിട്ട് കോമ്പിനേഷൻ ചെയ്ത പ്ലേയേഴ്സാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അവരുടെ കൂടെ കളിക്കാൻ പറ്റിയത് എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ആണ്. ഇറ്റ്സ് ഗുഡ്.
James, you mentioned with the international breaks probably coming up, when you'll have to probably give break for the youngsters, including there are a lot of youngsters in the side. And do you think they warrant a place in the starting 11, regardless of whether the main players, the seasoned players are available or not, or they have to just wait for their opportunities if there are players missing?
Well, first of all, sort of go back to the point that age isn't a requirement for selection. Being 28 doesn't mean you've got a better chance of being selected than someone who's 21. Most of our players are under 23 years old, I think. So age isn't the dictator on selection. It's how you train, how you prepare for the games. I think it's fair to say the nature of human beings are younger ones are slightly more effervescent in performance. They'll go up and down more than the older players. That's not to say that they have to. I think the environment that we've got allows players to be themselves in so many different ways, and as long as the instruction from the coaching staff is right, from the management is right, then it's just for the players to do their thing. Again, me getting frustrated on the sideline, I'm allowed to do, but as long as it's for the right reasons and not because the players are doing things wrong, which they weren't. It was just other stuff. But yeah, I mean, the bracket Sahal, who's the other? Dheeraj, forgive me. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you know, the guy's done very well. You know, changing the game, I think I understood a little bit what Sahal was saying. Changing players in the game isn't because of age or anything like that, it's because you see something that needs to be amended. Very fortunate with the 25 players, 22 outfield players. There's a little bit of difference in all of them. And we change things to make that little bit of difference positive towards the outcome of the game. But yeah, I mean, I was happy with every player on the field. I watched the game back and was happier watching the game back than I was in the game, because it's very difficult to process everything that happens from the sideline. So I'm surprised you haven't asked any more questions. What's wrong? You feeling a bit ill or?
He put his hand up at least a second.
Oh, he has. Oh, he usually holds onto the mic and asks 5 questions. Sorry, forgive me. Yeah, so age is never going to be a restrictor in selection. So, as I say, we've got a longer-term plan at Kerala Blasters. Got a lot of youngsters. We'll bring more youngsters through the academy, especially. We'll be looking, as I say, as a clear pathway through the system to the first team, and if we can do that, we'll be doing very well.
Yeah. Final question. We'll have one more.
Hi, James. After Dheeraj Singh, one more under-17 World Cup Indian player, Jeekson Singh, is coming to Blasters team. So can we expect Jeekson the first 11 against the Mumbai FC match tomorrow?
Hang on, say that again. Can you expect
Jeekson Singh.
Huh?
The under-17 World Cup Indian player, Jeekson
Yeah.
Singh. So can we expect Jeekson the first 11 the next match or other match?
Can you expect in the first 11 tomorrow?
No.
Yesterday,
not unless he's been registered in the ISL squad, which I don't think he has. So, no, I mean, as I say, we're in a position at the club where we're looking to promote younger players, give them the opportunities. I say it respectfully, but traditionally with the ISL, it's about getting the older players with loads of experience and then sort of filling the gaps with local players. Our strategy has been the opposite way around, where we want to get the best local talent, and then we will. And it's not just about fitting them in. We've got to find the players that which will benefit what we've got. And I think in the likes of Mate, Nico, Slav, who are new recruits, foreign recruits, and Cali as well, they will add to what we've got. Jeekson, yeah, I'm sure he won't be the last young player that gets brought into the system one way or the other. But as I say, he's not part of the ISL 25-man squad which we submitted a month ago. So, no. I'm looking over Varun there.
James, I remember you saying that no, you don't want to stamp a #1 tag on Dheeraj or Naveen, but you gave a start for Dheeraj and he did quite well. He kept a clean sheet as well as his performance was good as well. So, how reluctant are you to change a goalkeeper who, being a goalkeeper yourself, to change a goalkeeper who has done quite well in a match? So, is he going to stick, or is it dangerous to change a goalkeeper who has done quite well?
No, as long as they understand why then they're being changed. I think, as I said before, we've got 3 goalkeepers in Naveen, Dheeraj and Sujit, who are 3 very different types of goalkeepers. Different opposition will dictate that you need different strengths from your goalkeepers, so it will happen that there will be changes according to the opposition. When I played, I wanted to play every single game. I couldn't help myself, and it felt right to play every game, but it could be argued that certain games weren't suited to my style of goalkeeping, or maybe my style of goalkeeping wasn't suited to those games, whatever. But we have a full squad for the reason that we can mix and match, as I say, and basically put outside to beat the opposition rather than just keep people happy for having played well the game before. We'll see if it works.
James, tomorrow you are going to play with Mumbai City FC. How much tough opponents are there?
Yeah, well, I should have had a look at the record. I think it's very even. with regards to draws, wins and losses, if I'm not mistaken. 4 draws, 2 wins each, something like that. I'm trying to think if we beat them here. I think we might beat them here in year 1. But yeah, they've got some quality players, I would say. The new recruits they brought in, I know they lost the first game, but if they gel, then they're going to cause a lot of problems. And for us as well, I mean, we had a very good game against ATK, very pleased with the result and the performance, more importantly. We have to improve on that because each team will improve. That's what happens at the beginning of the season. And if we think that because Mumbai lost that we should win easily, then we will be very much mistaken. And I keep saying this, I just hope our fans don't make them feel happy. We're going to have a full house and they want to dislike Mumbai as much as they can, nicely, and turn this place into a fortress, which teams don't want to come and play at for the right reasons, you know. So we'll be going all out to win, don't worry about that. But we have to respect that they have capabilities within their ranks.
All right, thank you. Thank you, coach. Thank you, Salah.
And Nandi?
Guys, Mumbai performance, like 5 minutes is so long.